What is going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. I have a special interview for you today. I'm going to be interviewing my good friend, Jamison Philippi. Now, Jamison and I, we've known each other for probably 6 or 7 years now. I knew Jamison when he was first getting started selling online. And I remember he was selling clothing on eBay. He was reselling, various items from thrift stores and whatnot. And over the years, the guy has absolutely grown a massive business, which has now done just last month was 250,000. I believe in December, he said he was on pace to do almost $500,000 in revenue, which is absolutely amazing. What we're going to be talking about in today's interview is Jamison's journey. How did he get started? Why did he choose reselling? He came from a really crazy background where he was going through a lot of different challenges and difficulties with addiction, so on and so forth. And I could relate to that. And the guy has absolutely transformed his life. So I'm going to bring Jamison on right now. We're going to cover it all. And we're really going to share how you can build your own Amazon business as well. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, hey, what up? What up?
We officially have Jamison Philippi here. And, I gave a little introduction, Jamison. I said that, we've known each other for probably 6 or 7 years. You came from a really tough background where you were dealing with addiction. You were homeless, I believe, at one point. You really went through a lot of challenges. And I think it's really good to be able to share that story if you're open to it, if you're comfortable, because especially now on social media, you got everybody showing off these 6 and 7-figure numbers. And the truth is a lot of people who are successful, they didn't just wake up one day with these big numbers and, being full-time and running their own business. A lot of people came from the bottom. And if you don't mind, kind of share, how you got started with reselling and your story.
Yeah, definitely. I got started on eBay probably give or take 12 years ago or so. And I was, just flipping casually on there here and there. I ended up getting addicted to painkillers for a few years. Was in and out of rehab. I think I went to rehab. I went to outpatient rehab twice and inpatient rehab where you stay at the facility twice. And finally, after the 4th time of going to rehab, it finally stuck, and I stayed sober. And then I didn't work for a few years. And I did a tiny bit of eBay in between there. And then after those 3 years of not working, I went out to try to go get a job and nobody was hiring. So I started doing eBay a little bit more, the garage sales, the thrift stores, Craigslist, all that good stuff. And nobody would hire me. I was going into, Targets and, different middle of the mall kind of jobs and stuff like that, like trying to get a position, clothing stores. And I even it got so bad where I wouldn't even get an interview, or I would get an interview and they wouldn't call back. So I got all the way down. I even applied at Walmart to push carts, and I had an interview and they never called me back. And after that, it was that one hit, cause it's damn, I'm not even employable at Walmart. Dude, that's such a low blow, dude. And the very last job that I applied for, it was the Fossil store in the Opry Hills Mall in Nashville, Tennessee. That was my very last job application that I put in anywhere. And I got an interview. They loved me, called me back for a second interview, had a second interview, and then I heard nothing after that. And after that, I was
you got to roll.
I am literally unemployable in the United States. So I was doing eBay a little bit harder at that time, just to hold me over until I could find a job. And after that, it was just crap, I just kept pushing that a little bit harder. And after, about a year doing that, I was like, wow, I'm starting to make, $1,000 a month profit. And I'm like, man, I could see this if I push it and learn more and I get it up a little bit. I think I could this could be my full-time income. And so I ended up finding Amazon, right around that time too. And, flipping stuff on there. I started with a couple $100, like a lot of people started with almost nothing. And, and just kept flipping it and learning and, joining Facebook groups, the green room and stuff like that. And just, fast forward to now, which is, 6-7 years later, just kept flipping it and, learning and growing and just finding different ways to make money on Amazon, online arbitrage, RA and all that stuff. And last month I did just over 250,000 last month in sales.
And I was saying in the introduction, You were telling me behind the scenes on Instagram, you might be doing almost a 500,000 in December. That was your projection. I don't know how's that coming along.
I don't think I'm even gonna come close, honestly. I did really good in November. Like a lot of the things that I had bought in Amazon had sold out of, and I did fairly well. But this month, a lot of the stuff that I have, Amazon's just not selling out of. So I don't think I'm going to hit that this month. Um, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot less than I had thought. So I'm hoping to do maybe like I might only do about 250 this month or 300, honestly. Unless Amazon can sell out of a couple things that I went really deep on, because some of my SKUs I'm 400 or 500 units deep on. So if they sell out, then boom, I can sell them all fair, in a few days. But if they don't sell out, I'm going to be stuck, selling them at a loss or holding them until next year.
Well,
So
Jamison, I really wish you would have told me before the interview, because I was only looking to interview somebody who was going to do a $500,000 in December. So I think
okay,
we're
all
going
right,
to
well,
just.
all right, cool. Nice interview. Okay, cool. Gotta go.
so,
Bye.
so let's take everybody back to, you couldn't get your job at Walmart. The fossil store doesn't call you back. You're really on a roll. You're struggling. You learn about reselling. You're flipping a little bit. Do you go full into eBay and Amazon at the same time, or like how does that kind of look? Because I'm sure there's people watching now who are struggling. Maybe they're working full-time jobs. Maybe they've been dabbling a little bit with reselling. They know it works, but they're just kind of like, I don't know if I could take that step, like maybe I should just get a job. Like, what if it doesn't work? Like, what was your mindset at that time? Because you could have easily just kept trying to find a job or collect unemployment
Yeah.
or something.
Honestly, I didn't have a choice. I felt like I literally thought I had exhausted all my options for getting a job. So I felt if that didn't work, like I would have nothing, and at the time of me doing all that, I had moved out to Nashville from Minnesota, and I was staying at my friend's house, like sleeping on the floor, with a freaking $2 Walmart pillow and a freaking, like yoga mat as my bed, and a little freaking, like I had nothing. I drove to Nashville. I didn't have insurance on my car. I didn't have a job, and I went to Nashville with nothing. And so getting a job was like, the only thing I had known to do, minimum wage jobs. And yeah, it just I literally thought I exhausted all my options. So the reselling was the only thing I thought I could do, that I was good at, that I really enjoyed, and it was actually really fun. And the Amazon, I slowly grew into that over, like a year or so. I stuck with eBay mainly, and then slowly went into Amazon, as I would take some profits from eBay into Amazon and then roll the profits from Amazon over back into Amazon. So it was it took me probably two years, 2.5 years to actually, get a slight momentum going on eBay, on Amazon. It took a while, and it was a grind.
And I still feel like it's the same way. I mean, Amazon is a different beast than eBay. I feel like on eBay, you could sell whatever you want. You can go pick up the knickknacks, the used items, you part things out. You go to the garage sales, and it's really easy to find items for a couple of bucks and
Yeah.
flip and really be able to make real money. What I mean by that is, like, a lot of people think if you find something for 5 and sell it for 20, like, the $7 is your profit, but you have to always put money back in to grow and
Yeah.
get inventory. With eBay, you can get things so cheap. With Amazon, a lot of times, especially if you're doing RA and whatnot, you can't even really enjoy those profits. Like, your business isn't really paying yourself. And did you
Yeah.
feel like that was a challenge for you as well, moving into Amazon versus eBay? eBay, you can kind of like make those sales, make the profit and eat off it. Whereas with Amazon, you're always having to, they say feed the beast.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough because your margins are a lot smaller, and then it takes a little longer sometimes to get your money. You're probably waiting, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, give or take, to get your money from sending it in, it's selling, and then it getting shipped to the customer. And then if it, hits your payout at the right time, you can get it back within 2 weeks, maybe, but sometimes it's 4 weeks or 6 weeks. And it was a struggle, definitely. And, after I got sober and whatnot, I couldn't get a bank account in my name because I had, done a lot of dumb things to overdraft my accounts just to like get more money for drugs. So I was sharing a bank account with a family member who also had their own demons they were dealing with. And so my Amazon payouts were going into their bank accounts, and, they had some gambling issues and some pill issues, and they, like they were taking my money, directly. They would what they would do is they would go to the casino, overdraft the account days before, and then not win and not be able to pay it back. So when the bank account's, $1,000, $2,000 negative, well, my Amazon payout's coming out and it goes directly to that. And that I got hit with that multiple times, where the majority of my Amazon payouts would go to be paying off their gambling debts. And then like one time the family member was like, oh, my card I went to Starbucks and got a coffee. I think they took my card numbers down and they went out and spent all this money, but it was really them losing at the casino. And every time I would build up for like 3, 4, 5 months, I would build up, I would get some momentum. Cool. My Amazon payout's like $1,500. It was the most money I'd ever seen, from like a payout or a check or whatever you want to say. And then boom, knocked me back down to zero again. And then it was just like, it was tough.
It's tough, man. I came from a background, and I've shared it before on my YouTube channel. When I was 21, I got arrested. I went to jail. I got hit with 4 felonies, selling weed to a undercover police officer multiple times. I love how they hit you with a felony for that. It's like, if I knew it was a police officer, I never would have sold to you. But when you're committing crimes like that, like myself, you're hanging out with a real special group of people where people love to manipulate, they lie, they steal. You can't trust anybody. Everybody's your best friend. And then once you get a little something, they snag it right from you. And I used to deal with that stuff all the time. And, it was interesting. I'm not going to obviously put any of your personal stuff out there, but being vague, I remember back when you joined the green room and whatnot, you were a completely different person. You were always a great guy. But when you even when I was 23, 24, 25, it was 3, 4 years after I'd gotten arrested. And it was so hard. It's like the universe is a rubber band and it wants to pull you back into the BS, to the drama, to the brokenness, to every time I would get money, it was like back and forth. It was always like, it seems like you dealt with that too. I mean, your past will really, it takes years to get over that.
Oh man, it really does. It really does.
Financially. And they say, it's a mindset thing. Like, how long did it take you to psychologically get over? Like, I was broke for so long. It took so long for me to get all the negative BS out of my mind to kind of clear a path to start being able to hold on to money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It took many, 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 many years. Even when I removed some of those people out of my life, it still took years after that, because I didn't know how to manage money. I'm still, that's probably one of my biggest struggles now. I'm starting to learn now, and I'm reading, the proper books and hanging out with the proper people to learn that better. Where I can, because it's it doesn't even matter how much you're making. It's if you're not saving anything, what's the point, So I'm really, starting to dive into saving and putting money where it's going to be safe, and I can build on it and stuff like that. But it took many years, man. It probably took me, over 10 years to, get that mindset and get the right people out of your life that shouldn't be there, that are holding you back, whether it's purposely or subconsciously. Even I don't even think those people try to intentionally hold you back. It's just the way their mindset is, the way yours is. It's everyone's holding each other back unintentionally, and everyone stays on the bottom, unfortunately.
Yeah, this stuff's really, really important. So, the last thing I'll say is, guys, gals, everyone who's watching, if you've got the knowledge and you've been investing, and learning about Amazon and eBay and thrifting and learning about items, and you just can't seem to get ahead, really take a look at who you're spending time with, who are your influences, because Jim Rohn said it, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with most. So let's get into some Amazon content now. I just want to touch on some of that, because you've always been really, an inspiration to me when it comes to a lot of mindset stuff, because you've really come from the bottom, you've come through the challenges and made it happen. So this year you've done over 7 figures. There's, people in the comments asking, what are your profits? Revenue doesn't mean everything. And, we all know that revenue, numbers are numbers. This drop shipper is putting up, $3-4 million a year, and, they'll be lucky to make 6 figures, some of these guys. So what are the typical profit margins in your business? Let's talk let's get that off the table, because people aren't going to stop asking.
I do a lot of online arbitrage. I have a prep center. So, I do lose a little bit more paying them to prep my stuff.
Which is smart. I can talk about that.
It really varies on item, but I would probably say on average, I'm, probably 12 to 13%, maybe 15%. It really depends on the item, which it's a little bit lower than a lot of people doing RA, maybe even OA or whatever. but it's like, I don't personally mind it because I'm just clicking a few buttons, boom, boom, go to Target, buy the items, toss it in the spreadsheet for the prep center, and they boom, and they boom, and they do it. And it's like, I'm in the comfort of my home ordering. So I don't mind that I make a little bit less. And then obviously, I get the cash backs, I get credit card points, which that's obviously not part of the business. So then that's, just kind of a couple free dollars here and there. So it's not bad, like I enjoy it, and having to run around all the time and stuff like that. It's nice. I enjoy it.
You're sitting at home, and I'm sure you're paying yourself probably close to 6 figures, if not more or less, somewhere in that ballpark. When we were talking behind the scenes, that's not bad at all. So let's talk about what your business model is for the people that are wondering, what exactly do you do? What are you doing? Because last time we talked, you were doing retail arbitrage 100%. That was probably 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
Jamison was going to Toys R Us's and Targets and Walmarts and Barnes and Nobles. And, he was on a lot of my vlog videos and stuff. We would go into the stores, we'd find all this stuff. We'd bring it back to the hotel, back to my house.
Yep.
I mean, the guy used to absolutely abuse my house. I'd bring him over for a couple of days just to hang out. And next thing you know, it turns into a JCPenney warehouse. I mean, what's your business model now? What exactly are you doing? And kind of talk to somebody who's maybe new, doesn't really understand some of the big words, the online arbitrage and, prep. People might not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I've I can't say that word, transitioned a lot this year. Last year I was huge into RA. I was living in Jersey, which is an amazing, probably one of the best places in the country to live for RA, because you can get to so many states in such a short period of time. When I was in Jersey, I could get to, 8 to 9 states in a given radius of like 2 to 3 hours. I could get to, so I had so many options of thousands of stores. So that was really good then. And then I moved out to the West Coast, which the RA here is just, not good. It's, I spend a lot, when I was doing it, when I first moved here to the West Coast, and it was just like, I would go out for 8-9 hours, and like some days I'd spend $400 or $500. And it was like, dang. And then I would be like a 45-minute drive to get back home, and like hour drive. So it's like, dang, this is, it's a little tougher out here. So I with between Jersey and the West Coast, I did transition to OA a lot this last year, sending it. I have a prep center. Basically, I buy everything, Target, Walmart, and then I have a spreadsheet that I share with the prep center, and you put everything in your spreadsheet, and they literally do everything. They, do the shipments, label everything, box it, boom, send it to Amazon. You literally don't have to do anything after you buy it and add it to the spreadsheet. So I'm trying to grow that so that I can kind of be more hands off and have more, free time in the world. And then I can just work from the laptop. So I've been really trying to grow that this year. And then with the profits from Amazon, I'm investing in long-term holds. So like as much as the profits that I can this year and last year too, I've been just reinvesting into toys that I'm going to hold for a year or a year and a half, and then resell them in a year and a half. So I'm really trying to build that part of the business up. Oh, you're muted.
I got excited. I'm breathing so heavy when you're talking because I'm so excited. I had to mute myself. So to break things down, what Jamison's doing, I would say, what are you doing? Like 90% online arbitrage? Would you say? What's your break versus online arbitrage?
Probably 75% OA right now with Q4 and stuff.
So what Jamison's doing, for the folks who don't understand what online arbitrage is, he is sourcing items from Walmart, from Target. Are there any other stores you like to do?
Kohl's, GameStop.
And this is all online. So you're just buying online.
Yeah.
So you're buying these items online. I'm assuming, are you buying when there's sales, or are you like credit card hacking? Are you using online portals to get cash back? What are you doing? And we'll dive into those, but is that what you're doing? You're kind of like doing these little ninja tricks to save a little bit here and there?
I mean, where I can save, definitely. It's always an extra bonus. A lot of the stuff that I buy is full retail price. I mean, if there's a clearance or a sale, like obviously I'll take advantage of that. But the majority of the items I buy are retail price.
Really?
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Because that was one thing that I was always wondering. I'm going to have our mutual good friend Taylor coming on soon. I know he's big into retail arbitrage. He actually did 200,000 in sales last year, and this year he doubled it. So we're going to be interviewing him. Yeah. And speaking of spreadsheets, he's actually using. We have a really, really nasty VA who's just a killer spreadsheet queen. And
Hmm.
it's absolutely changed his life having a spreadsheet to be able to track your profits, to be able to track everything with the prep centers and stuff. But that's interesting because I thought that a lot of you online arbitrage peeps were just kind of like hacking the system, like getting coupons and different things. So you're like, what percentage of the items that you buy, say you buy, I don't know, how many items do you typically buy a week, would you say, if you had to average it out over a year
Um,
for like straight
maybe,
flips, not buy and hold?
maybe it really, I'd say 300 to 400, maybe.
Okay, so you buy 300 to 400 items. Is that going to be 300 or 400 different SKUs, or is that going to be made up of 10 SKUs typically?
Yeah, 10 to 20 SKUs, 30 SKUs, maybe.
Oh, okay. So you go deep on a single SKU. So
Yeah.
out of those 300 or 400 items or those 10 SKUs, how many of those SKUs are you actually like having coupons and stuff? Or is it like 90% you're just straight up buying it because it's a
Yeah,
good
the
deal?
majority, almost everything is just straight up buying it as is, no deals or anything like that.
And are you buying it because it's extremely profitable now for the most part, or are you buying it because you're looking at the Keepa charts and you see that Amazon's going in and out of stock all the time, or you're seeing that, it's just profitable right now? I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, I use Keepa. Like Keepa, I've really starting to like dive deep into Keepa this last year, and like I use Keepa for so much, like as far as like my flips and stuff like that. So like I'll have a good idea of when there might be a short supply of it, or if I see the sellers falling off and the items getting harder to find, then I'll like dive deeper into it. But I really like to try to like, I'll buy wide, if sometimes like things are limit 5 or limit 3 or limit 10, I'll do that. But like, I really enjoy going really deep on a product where it's like, okay, I think I can buy 200 of this or 300 of this or even 500 of this, and then just continually sell it fast for, sometimes those items are a little bit lower margin. That's why sometimes my margins are only 10, 12%. It's because I can go 3, 4, 500 deep on an item, sell out in a month or two, and then it's just like easy.
But the interesting thing I'm learning right now, and after like interviewing like tons of successful sellers, is you've got to formulate your little, like you've got to build out your business model. Like you're more of a lower margin, higher volume
Yeah.
seller. That's what you've decided works best for you. It's interesting in my business, in my Amazon business now, my margins are much higher, but my volume is much lower. And that's the way I like it. But as
Yeah.
I scale and as you scale, I'm sure you hit a point where you're like, if I want to continue to scale based on my model, I'm going to have to go with a higher volume. Because some people
Yeah.
might say, oh, 12 to 13% margin, that's crap. And I would
Yeah.
agree.
No,
Like
yeah, definitely.
it's definitely a very low margin in the physical reselling business. It's, you got to do a lot of things right because you don't have a lot of room to screw up. But
Yeah.
that's what you found worked best for you. And I think that's a lesson for everybody, right? Because you have a lot of friends who do this. They all have different models, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I like, I mean, this model doesn't work for everybody. And I personally enjoy it because I think it's a model people stay away from, because it's like, oh, I can only make, like, so right now I have a plush toy that I'd bought in from Walmart. It was limit 99. It was actually, it was a pre-order that they had a couple months ago, limit 99. And I ordered, like 600 of these things. And they were $10 a piece.
That's what you
And
get, Walmart, for not hiring me.
yeah,
I'm going to put
and
you out of
right
stock.
now, I had them all go to the prep center, and I'm selling them right now on Amazon for $21. Paid 10, selling them for 21. And after prep fees
Make like
and
3, 4
fees to
bucks.
Amazon, inbound shipping to Amazon, I think I'm clearing $2 a unit on them. But in the last 30 days, I sold 225 units. So it's like, I personally don't mind that, like, because it's like, boom, one SKU in, boom, they ship it in, and it's da-da-da, I'm selling 20, 30, 40 a day. And
So,
it's making a couple bucks on each item of
so
that particular SKU.
let's dive into what that looks like. So you had picked up this plush item on Walmart, right?
Yep.
How did you find it? Are you using like tactical arbitrage or a software? Do you have VAs that are going out scouting, or are you just sitting
All
online all
manual.
day with your little sweatband looking for things?
Yep. We're sweating looking at deals. No, I don't use tactical arbitrage. No VAs.
Really?
Yeah, there's a few toy brands that I've like I know like people like like a lot of people will do Lego investing or deep dive into Legos. Like I do that too. Like I'm starting to get into that too. But I started to look at this last year. Look at brands that hold long-term value like Lego that not a lot of people mess with or know to go in on them. And so this brand of toys that I'm buying, I've done a lot of research over it over the last few years, and I've sold it from time to time. And I'm really starting to understand the market for this brand of toys, that I know when a new toy comes out of them, that I can crush it on these, when I crush it, but like I know I can go really deep. And then also too, I even buy some of these to hold too. So I'll hold on to them for a year or 6 months, or, whatever the time long I need to be. Once the sellers drop off, the price is going to go up. And I know the demand is still going to be there,
Yep.
because they're going to come out with new variations of the same toy, and they're going to need this old toy that they don't make anymore. So like this toy, I'm holding back 3 different variations of this toy. I have 3 previous lines of this toy that they don't make anymore. They're not like really profitable yet, but they will be, because they stopped making them and they're on new variations, and the price of those are going to go up, over time.
Yeah, guys, I'm saying right now, from my experience and even what Jamison is saying, toys are one of the best items. New toys are one of the best items to put on Amazon. I love flipping toys, and in my Amazon business now, I'm sniping tons of items off Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, eBay, and the toy category is killer. Discontinued toys, discontinued video games. There's so much money in it. And the thing I love about, especially discontinued, is Amazon's not typically on the listing. I don't know if you're dealing with, are most of these items you're dealing with, is Amazon on the listing, or are you just buying them out?
Amazon will sometimes be on the listing. Sometimes they're never on the listing. And also too, like I'll go and set Keepa alerts on all these toys that I'm buying, that like, say there's a chance that Amazon was on them at some point. I did this last year. So I was going through Inventory Lab, just, because I was just kind of like going over some numbers and kind of reminiscing like over old inventory. You can go back and look at old stuff you sold a couple of years ago in Inventory Lab. Yeah. I was like looking at some of the old toys that I had bought on the road, or like really rare stuff. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I found that in, West Virginia, And I was like starting to click on these toys, and I was clicking on them and looking at the prices that they're going for now. And some of these things were going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm like, wow, like, I sold that thing for $40.
How were the ranks though? Was it like super slow? Because if you hold back 80 of them and a rank's at 700,000, it's like,
no. Everything generally never even hits that high. So what I did, I had this idea of going through all my old inventory and going to set Keepa alerts on every single one of those items. And now,
what does that mean? Like, explain, what does that mean, setting a Keepa alert for the people that
basically, if Amazon ever comes back in stock on that item, the Keepa software will send you an email, Facebook Messenger, or a text notification on your phone if you have the app.
What do you mean if Amazon comes in stock? If Amazon, like actual Amazon, starts
to, and then you could buy them from Amazon too.
So just to break that down, so that game might be at 85, but Amazon's going to come in stock at $19.99, right?
Yeah,
so you want to get that alert so you can just buy them all out, because they ain't getting much stock. This is dead stock.
Yeah. So it's just set up old Keepa alerts, and I've had a couple pop off this last year, like of old toys that haven't been in stock in a couple of years and stuff, and I've been able to
give an example, because that's exciting. Like, you don't have to tell what it is, obviously, but like, so Amazon comes in stock. Like, just think of an item. You don't have to share, because I don't want to blow up your listing, but think of an item and tell me what was it selling for, and then what did Amazon come in stock like selling it at, and then how many did you buy? Like, how did that kind of play out?
I had a flip a few months ago. It was actually it was an LOL, the LOL brand, LOL dolls or whatever. They came in stock on a really rare LOL doll. They didn't have many. I think I ended up getting, like they came in stock with like 34 or something like that. It was retailed for $35. And at the time they were going for $120. It was a good flip. And it was one of those, it was a Keepa alert that I had set that doll hadn't been in stock for well over a year.
Does it go to your email, or does it text you?
I have the Keepa app. So then I get an actual notification. It pops out on the phone like a text message. So I went in and I bought their 34 units, and I turned around and flipped them for, 110, 120. And it was like, had I not gone through my old toys and just started setting Keepa alerts randomly, like I never would have got that. So I'm building up my Keepa list and going through, like right now, I think I've got like around 1,100 Keepa alerts set up on my accounts, which is, I don't know if that's a lot, but like, I went through, and it's a lot of rare old toys that I put.
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Because I had heard a couple of years back, like, for example, I do a lot of eBay to Amazon flips, like I was sharing, but oftentimes, like, you know how it is, people are idiots on Amazon, and like the merchants will be at like 12, even though like someone will they'll be like, someone comes in at $12, FBA's at like 60, and then the next guy's like, oh, I'm going to put it at $11.99. And now you have 6 guys at 11 and $12, and then the next merchant up is like 48, and then FBA comes in at 55. So like, I've been tempted to want to like buy out the 5 dum-dums, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I heard a while ago that you can't buy from Amazon and then flip it back on Wait. No. Okay, I'm getting confused. There's been FBA sellers who come in really, really low, like 5 low FBA sellers. And I thought I couldn't buy from Amazon FBA sellers and then put it back on FBA. I thought there was a rule like that.
I've never done that before. So I would assume it's probably not safe. Because if you ever have an issue with that item, I don't think your invoice is going to work because it's not from a direct, like a Walmart.
I'm past that because every single item, like, I
don't know. I mean, I never did that before, so I don't know. I mean,
but you're buying directly from Amazon. They don't care if you buy directly from Amazon and then put it back on FBA. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know hundreds of people that do that. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, just don't use your Prime account when you're buying. Like, I have a business account that I buy from Amazon with, and I don't have Prime membership on there. So you get the snail mail, this shipping. So it's not coming to you in 2 days. It might take 2 weeks, so it takes a little bit longer to get to you, but that's it.
If I buy from another account that doesn't have Prime, can I buy from an FBA seller? Because I have Prime, so I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never bought from another FBA seller before. So I don't know how that would work.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you can buy
directly from Amazon.
So you could buy directly from Amazon with a non-Prime account. They're going to just send you the snail mail. That's what you're saying. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that makes sense. So back to what we were talking about with those plush toys. Remember you said you bought a couple hundred of them. You were making $2 a pop. You set up I think you said you set up a Keepa alert. Is that how you found those plush dolls?
The plush one is, it was a pre-order on a toy that I had done well on the previous variations. Like, they'll come out with 2 to 3 of these toys a year, like one per season or something like that, or one every 3-4 months. And it'll be, Walmart exclusive or whatever. And they generally just make that plush toy once, and then once they're out of stock, then obviously everyone's going to be out selling it. But then eventually that's the stock levels will go down, the sellers will go down. And if, you can hold back the inventory and sell them later or sell them up front, usually right away.
So when you saw those, they hit Walmart. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was a pre-order in Walmart's. So I placed the order like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, or whatever, and had to hold, and then they just shipped them out, during Q4 here.
And were they profitable immediately, or that was more of like a buy?
There wasn't a listing actually when they came out. For when they were out for pre-order, there was no listing for them, but I knew they were going to be good because I had bought in this toy line. This is my 3rd time buying it. Each variation's a different, different figure, different colorway of the plush, but they're Walmart exclusives in the same line of toys. And all 3 of them had done really well. So I knew it was going to do good. So I put in a bunch of pre-orders knowing that it was going to do good without an Amazon listing.
Interesting. And that's just straight up experience.
Exactly. Yeah, just experience, just deep diving into the brand and knowing what's going to do good in that brand, short term and long term.
So in your business right now, you obviously have a lot of buy and holds. So those are almost like, in a sense, like replenishables, but that is cash being held up.
Yeah.
What does it look like now in terms of like your sourcing and whatnot from a day to day? I know you got a pretty large inventory with thousands of items right now. Moving into 2022, right now, if you're not, I probably suggest taking a little bit of a break because I'm sure you've been going crazy for Q4. Yeah. But what does your sourcing look like from a day to day now? Because you have this, this inventory that just sells, right? Because you're buying large quantities and whatnot. But as we all know, if you don't feed the beast, like your sales are going to slowly go down and down with less inventory. It's an inventory based business. The more quality inventory you have, the more money you're going to typically make. Exactly. So what does your sourcing look like now from like a day to day, like in moving into 2022? Like, do you sit down and source every day, or do you kind of batch your sourcing, or is it based on like what you learn from your network? Because I know you're always connecting with other resellers and you find out about a hot tip. Like, what does that look like now on a day to day?
I'm slowing down my buying now, unless I know I'm going to buy something that will do good after Christmas. After every Q4, and I've talked to other sellers that deal with this too. It's like when you get to the end of Q4, end of Christmas, right around now, obviously it's too late to probably send stuff in FBA for it to arrive to Amazon and get to the customer by Christmas. So now it's like, I always run through this every year that I don't know what to buy. It's like I slow down a lot at the end of December and then January too, because sometimes the prices will be still a little bit inflated, and I don't want to be chasing the tail end of profit. And by the time it gets there, it's not any good anymore. I'm selling for a loss. So I really slow down a lot at mid-December through part of January, where it's like I'm kind of like lost and I don't know what to do. And it's like, do I even know how to sell on Amazon? Like I go through this transition at the end of every Q4. And I never told anybody about that, but then I had a couple other people tell me about that, and I'm like, dude, I go through that too. It's like I'm so lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to buy, because that's like, the prices are a little inflated because of Christmas, and maybe like big demand and not enough product, and then maybe they're starting to replenish the products, and it's like then its demand's still going to be there. So I always like slow down after Christmas and just chill, and just kind of keep busy, just like repricing, keep an eye on things, and I'll spend maybe a couple $100 a day. If I see a good item, or if there's like a couple good items, I'll buy them if I know they'll be good after Christmas. But I really try to slow down and not make any bad decisions around this time. So I really slow down on my buying right now and sending in.
So looking back, let's say looking back over the last 4, 5, 6 years, how long have you been selling now? 6, 7 years or so?
A little over 7 on Amazon.
What would you say, looking back now with this experience, what would you say were probably your biggest mistakes that you made your first like 3 years that held you back from growing and scaling and making more money? In retrospect, what do you wish you would have done differently? Was it your business model? Was it your sourcing strategies? Was it not getting a prep center? I'm just throwing random things at you.
Yeah.
What were your biggest mistakes?
I would say like probably not investing enough back into the business.
What do you mean?
I made that mistake early on, like when I started to make enough money to survive. I kind of like
what does that look like though? What does that mean, investing back in the business?
Like just buying more products to build the profit, build the sales, build your inventory. I made the mistake early on because I didn't have any money sense, like I was making a little more money than I, had at like, my previous jobs where I was making $7 to $8 an hour, and I would just, as the profit grew and the sales grew, the profit grew, my lifestyle would grow with it, as far as like the money I spent on, whether it be food or some traveling or some clothes or whatever, just silly little unnecessary spending. So as the profit went up, so did the spending. And it's like, for years, my business didn't even grow. It grew a little bit every year, but I had nothing to show for it. I didn't have a savings, for many years. I didn't have, I had nothing saved. I had nothing to show for it. It's like I was making more money and I was making more sales, but I was spending that money as I was growing. So I didn't have anything tangible. I didn't build up a savings or an investments or anything. So that was probably that's my biggest mistake I think I made in Amazon. Up until like the last like 2 years, I really struggled with that, and I'm getting better and I'm learning, and like even as like one thing that I struggle with and I'm getting better on is like ordering Uber Eats. Like that has been like the death of me, where I'll spend like $1,000 a month on Uber Eats or something, or $1,200 a month.
Easy.
What I'll do is I'll go to the grocery store, buy all this good, healthy, awesome food, good stuff, and then it sits in the fridge and I just Uber Eats, like,
Been there, done that.
And it was like, that's so unnecessary. Like, so I'm happy I was able to identify that that's a big issue of where I throw money away, is like on food and stuff, that I'm trying to like, get better at cooking at home. So that way, I can, it's just like a lot of just silly spending, that poverty mindset I grew up with of not having any money sense. That was my biggest struggle. And I'm starting to plug in the holes in the boat now.
Yeah, it's tough, paying yourself first is kind of what you're talking about. And, I found from my experience, if you don't have, like what I have is I have automatic withdrawals that come out that go into different funds. So I have money that automatically goes out every single month that goes into index funds. I have money that automatically comes out every month for my real estate investments. So my goal is to buy a real estate property every 2 or 3 years, and you need a down payment. So there's money that comes out, and it doesn't go directly into an index fund, but it goes into like a safer bet in the stock market. And I hired a fiduciary financial planner. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but there's a lot of financial planners out there similar to doctors, right? You think that your doctor has your best interest, but then you come to find out that they're in bed with the pharmaceutical companies and they're gaining commissions off of the pills that they're pushing to you. Well, financial planner, a lot of them will say, oh, invest in this index fund, invest in this mutual fund, but they're getting kickbacks. A fiduciary doesn't make money on the investments that they promote to you, right? It's having you in your best interest. So we should definitely talk behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely.
About that. So that's interesting. What would you say your biggest mistake was in 2021? And we're sharing this not to put you down, but to
yeah. You know,
help everybody.
Because I love to share the things I mess up on, because I don't want other people to do the same stupid things that I've done in my business. You know, because maybe they haven't experienced it yet, or they don't know any better, or they haven't come across that problem. Like, if my horrible mistake can like help somebody, that's all that really matters. So my biggest mistake in 2021, I would have to say, I don't know if this was necessarily a mistake, but it definitely did not work to my advantage. I have two things. One is like paying for softwares and stuff like that, you know, like whether it be like, you know, like right now, you know, I for like a year I had some OA list I was subscribed to paying, and I never opened them. And it was $100 a month for 13 months.
Dude, that was a month of Uber Eats.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just throwing that away. So it's little that I would say that was, you know, not a huge mistake, or it is a mistake, but like stuff like that, you know, stuff that you're not using, whether it be in the business or outside of the business. You know, I did so like when I lived in Jersey for 2 years, I was silly and I signed up for cable for 2 years. I never once watched a TV.
Yeah.
So I paid for cable for 2 years for nothing. I literally never use it. So when I moved to the West Coast, when I signed up for internet and all that, I made sure I'm not signing up for cable. So I
Such
just
a scam, dude.
Yeah, I just have my Netflix and my Hulu, my Amazon Prime, and I'm good. You know, like I'm actually going to probably get rid of Hulu, I think, or Netflix, one of them, because I'm going to try to like minimize, even if it's $10 a month. I'm going to try to like get in order this things I don't need. So it's just like getting rid of subscriptions you don't need, unnecessary spending of like, you know, yeah, just the subscriptions and stuff like that. There's so many things we're probably paying for that we literally have zero use for, or we're not using. So I'd say that. And then also too, I would say like this wasn't a mistake, but it, you know, like early in January and February and last December, I was buying a lot of toys for holds. And then this, you know, throughout this year, we had a lot of issues with the safety compliance, whatever letters and things. So some listings got shut down. And unfortunately, it was some of the toys that I had bought to hold. So I wouldn't say that was a mistake, because obviously we couldn't predict the future and know that was going to happen. But it did happen. So, you know, I'm stuck with some hundreds of items that I can't sell on Amazon that they're no good on eBay. So I'm just going to have to continue to hold them. And then hopefully at one point, you know, I can sell them on eBay and either break even or make it all, you know, make a little bit. But that wasn't really a mistake. Just, you know, unfortunate, you know, thing that kind of hurt the business this year, where I lost, you know, a few $1,000.
Bro, you got to drop them off at Resell Rabbit's warehouse.
Pennies on the dollar.
Big shout out to Resell Rabbit. I watched one of his videos the other day.
Him forever.
Man, remember we all used to go on thrifting trips together, man. I miss that guy.
Yeah, he's funny, man. Yeah, we used to hang out a lot, like years and years and years ago.
So did you start using the prep centers in 2021?
2020. I started during the pandemic. I started using a prep center because obviously a lot of the stores were closed during the pandemic. So I didn't have a lot of places to shop at. So I had to, you know, I had to learn how to do, you know, spreadsheet. Like I didn't know how to make a spreadsheet back then.
Yeah, we should talk about that, because I'm actually going through that now. So I'd like to hear your journey of
yeah.
Do you mind talking about it a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you mind sharing who you're using for your prep center? Or do you want to keep it?
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, they don't take their I don't think they like openly advertise to people. And I don't think they're even taking any more people. Like it was like a word of mouth thing. Like I had a friend that used them and they got me in. And at the time when I joined in 2020, like they were like, that's it. I think they're growing. They're growing their business. So I don't think they're taking any more people right now. I don't think. But they're based out of Missouri.
Okay. Yeah, I got a guy I'm
But
going to be working with out of Pennsylvania. So his
nice.
name's
Okay.
Eric. If that works out, I'm going to have him on the channel.
Sweet. Yeah. Yeah. They definitely can be great. And on one of my road trips, I was, I was able to go visit them at the prep center and check out their, hang out
Well,
with them and, check out their operation. It was really freaking cool.
so real quick, not to cut you off, what a
Yeah.
what a prep center is, everybody, is, well, think of it this way. Say you order something online, you source it off eBay or you source it off of Walmart. What happens? They ship it to you. Then you get the products, you prep it, you send it to Amazon FBA, right? Well, with a prep center, essentially what you're having done is you're having Walmart or whoever you source from drop ship it to them. You don't even tell them, really. I mean, you just put their address in and it just gets drop shipped to them. What they do is they receive your item, inspect it, pick it, pack it, ship it, and then they go through that whole process. So typically that costs usually around $1 per item. It could be up to $2 if it's like more sophisticated with extra prep, or maybe more if it's a larger item. But for average items, it's usually around like a buck to $2. Would you say that's normal?
Yep.
And when Jamison is talking about a spreadsheet, think about it, guys. Like, you have all these items that you're buying. Like, you need a spreadsheet to track, like, did they get received? Were they damaged? Were they refunded? Did they actually get listed and shipped? And I'm going through that process now, and I'd be lying to you guys if, I'm telling you, I don't need to be wearing a sweatband, because I'm a little nervous with the process, and I've been kind of putting it off. And, I've been talking to Taylor behind the scenes, and my spreadsheet girl, we have a meeting tomorrow to build that out. How did that all play out for you? Because, this is, it's a nerve-wracking thing. It's already nerve-wracking sending stuff to FBA. We obviously got over that years ago, but not having your items come to you and you prepping it and touching it and seeing it and feeling it and knowing it is what it is. Like, talk about those first couple months.
That was one of my biggest struggles, was allowing someone else to touch my inventory. And I never would have did it, but I had one of my really good friends had been using them for over a year at the time, I think. And he was like, dude, they're great. He was like, and I fully trust my friend, like fully. And he said, you need to do this. Like, it's going to be a game changer. I'll help you get everything set up. Like, you can trust them. They're really good at what they do. And I literally would not have done it had it not been for my friend that, like, fully vouch for them. Like, they're great people. They freaking crush it. They ship good. They do the thing. They do everything correctly and, safe, and everything works out good. Cause I'm like, oh gosh, what if they label it wrong? Just like all these little things are in my head. Like, what if they label it wrong? What if it, da, 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 da? I'm like, I'm overthinking all this, and all right, let me try it out. And, he helped me set up everything, and, it went good. Like, it went smooth, and I got to get to know them, really well. And, like, when we go to, like, events and, meetups and conventions and stuff, I see them and we hang out and stuff, and they're amazing people and, like, awesome. Like, I, call them good friends, and they are amazing at what they do. Like, they're quick. They get the stuff out fairly fast. They're awesome people. They do a great job. We have a little WhatsApp thing with me, the owner, and then the manager of getting the items out the door. So they'll, like, hey, we shipped out this many items today. Hey, this item came, you forgot to put it on the list. Hey, this item came damaged, kind of stuff, and it's like, and then also this place is really cool with them too, is that, like, I can leave my holds there too. So I have, like, thousands and thousands of items being held at their warehouse. And so I can be like, okay, I'll, like, on the spreadsheet, I'll be like, oh, hey, can you send in 200 units, align 500 on the spreadsheet? Sweet, got it, boom. And then within a few days or whatever, a week, boom, they ship out the items. So it's pretty cool, it's been a great transition. Definitely helped the business grow, and definitely is, like, really helped to scale and stuff like that. It's still, I'm still learning, and, like, but it's been a great experience for sure.
Yeah, it's really got to help you to scale a lot, because a lot of times, like in my business, it's like sourcing takes so much time. But then you got all these things showing up at your house, and now you got to pick it and pack it. And what I've been dealing with the last couple of days is I burnt myself out. I went so psycho, over the last couple months with Q4, trying to juggle all these things, that, like, the last couple of days I've been so burnt out, and I'm like, I have to stop sending my stuff in. And, Romer Avery, he stayed with me, and he was, his whole business runs off of prep centers as well. And I feel like it's a no-brainer, especially when you want to scale. But I would say if you're new, you definitely don't want to jump right into a prep center, I would say, because you want to get a feel for how things work. You want to learn the system, so on and so forth. So to end things, because we're kind of getting to that time, what are your goals, your top goals for 2022, if you don't mind sharing?
I want to continue to grow my hold catalog, reinvest, profits into holds. Definitely working this year on, getting out of getting out of some debts and stuff like that. And just I want to continue to get better with tightening the spending and just like getting my finances, like, level them up to, as far as being more in control of the money and, stopping the leaks where they don't need to be and stuff like that. And then this coming year, I definitely want to get into something new. I want to add something to this. I've been like researching into like churro and stuff like that. Just kind of like glance, I've been watching videos, and
I was watching some the other day too.
I was considering actually buying a course.
Sounds like a
on that.
nightmare.
Yeah. I don't know. It
Scares me.
seems so cool and interesting, but I don't know. I'm just considering buying a course. It was like $120 I might buy and just kind of just dive into it, just see what it's like.
I got the affiliate link for you, man.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Remember back in the day in Las Vegas running around with.
That's right. Can I use the affiliate link? So, man, yeah, that too. And then, my main goal is just to continue to work on me, fitness, health. Being healthy, working on health, and I've been, definitely getting more into that the last couple of years. Juicing regularly, working out regularly. Drinking, a good amount of water every day, multivitamins. Eating as much fresh organic food as I can. So, and then I do, I love to eat. Like my favorite thing to do is just eat crappy food. That's my favorite thing. So it's like,
what's your favorite food? People are asking.
Oh man, dude, I freaking like, I've been really on a big, right now I've been on a really big kick for like, I love Wingstop's barbecue wings, dude, like extra crunchy, dude, like pizza, obviously, freaking tacos, man, sushi, freaking just salmon, fish, pasta.
What was your drink of choice? You always had the pineapple. What was that? The Tito's.
Tito's and pineapple?
Yeah,
Tito's and pineapple. Yep. Love the Tito's and pineapple. I drink champagne a lot.
Well, man, when you do 250K,
So yeah, just, continue to work on health, read books, and just continue to get better and grow personally and in business.
So where can people follow you? Gary Y was asking, Jamison, what social media?
Yeah,
What's your best social media to connect?
Yeah, Instagram was Jamison Philippi, and then same thing, Facebook, same thing, just Jamison Philippi. Just use my regular name for both. So yeah, I'm on IG and Facebook.
Awesome. If anybody has any questions, we'll stay here for a couple more minutes. If we see anything come through, just looking at some of the questions right now. Really appreciate you coming on, man. It's
yeah, brother, definitely.
It's been too long. We talked for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And it was good to hear where your business is and how much you've grown, man. It's crazy. I still remember, man, just years ago when your business was like 50,000 and then 60,000 and then 100 and then 200 and then I think last year, what did you hit in sales? 7 figures.
No, I did 1.008 million last year.
Gotcha. And did you beat that this year?
Yeah, I already beat that. I'm at like 1.1 something right now.
Wow. Awesome. So I don't see too many questions coming in lately. Dude, I feel like it's my YouTube channel, man. It's like YouTube doesn't show my stuff anymore. It's really weird. It's like it's a little uninspiring sometimes to post content because it's almost like I'm shadow banned, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like we got 160 something thousand subscribers and there's 33 people here. So, or maybe it's just the TikTok world we live in. It's like I want to watch a 45-second exciting TikTok.
You do a 3-minute interview on TikTok. Okay, cool. Gotta go. Bye.
Or maybe my content is just terrible. It's either one of those. Terrell is asking any advice on sourcing. How about any advice for sourcing for a brand new person? Should they go OA? Should they go RA, thrifting?
I would probably do RA so you can kind of get the business down and kind of like, just get experience with scanning products and stuff like that. Obviously it's really good to start in areas you're comfortable with. For both of us, I think we started with toys and video games. That was just an area of comfort that I kind of understood a little bit, and it was fun to source those things. So I stuck with that, and it worked, and I continue to stick with that. So I mean, start with something you're comfortable with, or that maybe you have a little bit of knowledge in, if that's a possibility. It's very discouraging in the beginning. Say if you start with toys, you'll be scanning and scanning and scanning and scanning for hours, and either you won't find anything good, or you can't sell the products because you need to get the approvals to sell that brand. So it can be very discouraging in the beginning, and you just got to fight through that. It was rough. Remember when I started. Back before you could sell any brand, you really didn't need ungating and anything, and I still had trouble finding products when I first started. And I used to be like in the Facebook group, like, how do you guys even make money doing this? Like, it's discouraging. I spent 6 hours in one Walmart yesterday, and I bought 2 toys. Like, how are you guys finding anything? And it was very discouraging. So just follow people on IG. A lot of the people I follow on IG, my friends and stuff, they'll show products that they're buying. I mean, that could definitely help as far as to get an idea of what people are going after and what to look for and what to scan and stuff like that.
Are you selling any of your own private label brands? Because someone's asking, is getting your own brand approved very difficult? I'm not sure what they mean by that.
Maybe it's PL. If you're referring to like PL stuff, I have zero experience in that, unfortunately, so I can't help you as far as getting brand approval. Sorry. Unless they're talking, I don't know if they were RA or PL.
Yeah, but with RA items, or just any items in general, OA, RA, different brands and stuff, I mean, it's still the same thing. You got to go to a place like Alliance or Ingram or somewhere, and you got to buy wholesale products. You have to have an invoice with at least 10 of the item. I think that's still the same thing, right?
I haven't had to get approval on a brand in a long time. Actually, no. I'm sorry. I did. I got approval on Squishmallows a couple months ago. I got 10 of one SKU and I got approved.
Yeah. And whoever you buy from, they'll give you an invoice, and you just send that invoice to Amazon. There's a process. And for me, I had to do it multiple times for some of the things, but you'll get approved, and then, you're good to sell it. So it's what it is. Appreciate you coming on, Jamison. It was really, really great.
Sure.
Hearing your story and your journey, and, I wish you the best in 2022.
Likewise, brother. You too.
Maybe we'll have some videos come in person in 2022, because we got to get Jamison over here and in Connecticut. I'm back in Connecticut, guys. So
remember that clown video we made at your house like 5 years ago?
What were we doing?
I had the clown nose, and I
don't know if anybody saw that video. We were just completely bored, and I edited it myself and put the music on. Is that still on the channel somewhere? That's not still on the channel, is it?
Yeah. It's still on YouTube. Yeah.
I wish I could find that really quick. I'm going to see if there's any comments. I want to see if I could find that. What's it under?
I'll jump on my phone real quick and check, dude. Yeah, dude. I remember we made that, and we were watching it back together, the part where I'm in the corner with the music. And I remember us just dying laughing. We couldn't uncontrollably. We were laughing so hard.
Yeah, I'm looking for it, but I can't see it.
I saw it. I mean, I saw the thumbnail of it not too long ago, maybe within this last year, when I was just scrolling through YouTube one day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still getting showed to you. Yeah, I'm looking on my channel, but I don't see anything.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to bring it out from the archives one of these days. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, guys. We're gonna head out. Jamison, have a great New Year's. Happy holiday to everybody if we don't talk.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for watching.
All right.
If you got questions, hit me up on IG. Happy to help.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.